Hello, I'm going to tell you something about training horses, but before that, I'm going to show you this clip from the Metro. Disabled granddad sacked from ASDA for sharing Billy Connolly sketch on Facebook. What happened was that this man, who's called Brian Leach, posted a Billy Connolly sketch on Facebook, an anti-religious sketch in which Billy Connolly insults Christianity and Islam equally as a load of old horse poop. What happened then, according to this article here, is that a colleague complained to the boss about it. And I got a photo. I'll put a photo up of the webpage for the Dewsbury ASDA and the boss, who is some bearded gentleman. I don't know what happened to beards. They used to be a sign of masculinity. Not in this case. I was going to use a naughty word to describe that man. It began with a C and ended with a K. But I decided I'd better keep my language clean because everybody's frightened of YouTube now, aren't they? Anyway, Brian Leach worked for the ASDA store for 5 years and he was sacked, let go, they put here, by the supermarket after a colleague complained the comments in the sketch were anti-Islamic. And so they were. They were also anti-Christian. They were generally anti-religion. Mr. Leach then wrote a grovelling apology, possibly, I suppose, so that he'd get some sort of a reference. I'm quite sure the boss said something to him about, if you don't apologise, you'll never work in this town again, or words to that effect. So he said, unfortunately, I have today been dismissed from ASDA. Some of my colleagues took offence to the Billy Connolly thoughts on religion that I posted early May. It's been a pleasure working with my friends and serving the public of Dewsbury, and I will miss my regular customers. Apparently, Mr. Leach, who has been thoroughly brought into line by the Dewsbury ASDA, ASDA, by the way, a subsidiary of Walmart. ASDA have a social media policy, and I breached the policy by having my employer listed on my Facebook page. You know, he said where he was employed, no doubt. And because I have possibly brought the company name into disrepute. So being annoyed with religion brings the company name into disrepute. Now, look at this. I have been fearful of getting a knife in my back because an Asian colleague kindly took a photo, and I've been scared after it was shared on Instagram. An ASDA spokesman said, we would never comment on individual circumstances. However, we do not tolerate any form of discrimination from colleagues or customers and take such behaviour extremely seriously. First of all, what do you mean by discrimination? This isn't discrimination. This is a man's opinion on religion, or rather something he found amusing in another man's opinion on religion. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. Mr. Leach's colleagues threatened him by taking a photograph of him and sharing it and calling him, obviously saying, they might not have used the word blasphemer, but they did say what he did. They were inviting somebody to take retribution. And ASDA have not addressed that problem. And I might say neither have the police. But Dewsbury is in Yorkshire, and we all know about the Yorkshire police. It's only 30 miles from Rotherham. And we all know how well the police behaved in Rotherham. Now, I just got back from the stables. As you can see from me, I was riding, while I'm visiting my son, I ride a friend's horse. And I'm dressed in my riding kit. And I want to tell you a little bit about horse riding, because it very much occurred to me when I heard this story. You see, When you are riding a horse, you are controlling an animal that weighs no less than half a ton, possibly up to a ton, and with muscles only in its neck that are stronger than the muscles of any weightlifter that's got a gold medal in the Olympics. This is a very powerful animal. And what you are doing when you're riding that animal is you are exploiting the fact that this animal is a herd beast and prefers to follow a leader. Now, when I push my leg slightly into the side of the horse, I expect him to move. I expect him to move sideways or forwards, one or the other. But he has to react to that movement of my leg. If he doesn't react straight away, I give him a little flick with the stick. I'm not talking about beating him to death. I'm just talking about a flick. Horses bite each other as a means of discipline. This is a lot less than that, but it is an obvious touch that the horse appreciates as a disciplinary measure. Sooner or later, you don't need to flick that stick. You just put your leg on and the horse moves. The horse has been conditioned into doing that. But what you mustn't ever do is ignore one single infraction of the rules. You must keep absolute consistency in your instructions. So if you put your leg on and one time you don't flick the stick when the horse doesn't respond, and another time you do, the horse doesn't react because it knows it's not going to get a punishment straight away, in a consistent way. So you have to be absolutely consistent. And that's what the Muslim community are doing to us. They are conditioning us by reacting instantly over every small infraction of the rule. And we are becoming conditioned to do what they want us to do. It's got to be instant, like with horses, and it's got to be absolutely consistent. There is another thing with a horse, an absolute iron rule. You must never, ever, ever let the horse know that you're weaker than he is. The horse doesn't know that. The Muslim community is, 3 to 5% of British society. But they are going a long way to convincing us that they are more powerful than us by this constant conditioning, constant reaction. They never let up for a second, and we are becoming conditioned to it. Now, the thing is, we're not horses. This shouldn't be happening. We have enough intelligence to know that we don't have to react when that little flick of the stick is applied. We just grab the stick and throw it away, and that's what we should be doing. Very upset about this, what's happened to Brian Leach. And what I want to ask you to do is this. After I finish talking, I'm going to splice in the Billy Connolly routine. And if you don't want to share my video, go onto YouTube, find the Billy Connolly routine and share that. But it should be shared anywhere you can, on any platform you can. It must become viral, please. We can't let this happen. This is our way of taking that stick out of the rider's hands and throwing it away and saying, you're not more powerful than us. And we don't have to do a conditioned reaction. You might also write to ASDA or to Dewsbury ASDA, but please do not go personally for the manager. Don't harass him. You'll only ruin my case and everybody else's case. Be respectful, whatever you write, and just say, you don't think this is reasonable behaviour. A man should not be sacked forced into humiliating apologies because he likes a comedy routine. All right, well, I'll splice in all the other stuff now, and I'll speak to you again soon.
That That's it for me. Religion's fucking finished. That's it. It's fucking over, lads. It's fucking over. For a couple of thousand years, you fucked it. It's over. It's fucking over. Take your Reformation, your Vatican, your fucking Mecca, and fuck off.
Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and if you wish to donate, click the Subscribe Star link where you can make a one-off payment or set up a regular contribution, or I have a PayPal account at grannyopteryx@gmail.com. Till next time.